My name is Jack. I am 16 years old this year. My younger brother, Bruce, is 13. We had lived a normal, even happy life until my father passed away in a traffic accident 3 years ago. His sudden departure left a huge void in our lives, especially for my mother, Kelly. She was devastated for a long time. Bruce and I tried our best to cheer her up, but sadness seemed to cling to her like a shadow. Then Jonathan appeared. My mother met him only a few months after my father passed away. I don't remember much about the first meeting, only that he seemed handsome, spoke politely, and always had a smile on his face. My mother seemed to find a support, a ray of light after a series of dark days, in him. Only a short time later, my mother decided to let him move in with us. Initially, Jonathan was the epitome of an ideal stepfather. In front of Mom, he always appeared loving and caring towards us. He asked about Bruce's studies, played catch with me in the backyard, and even offered to help me fix my old bicycle. My mother saw this, and her eyes sparkled with joy. She believed that, finally, the lives of the three of us were about to become stable again. She believed that Jonathan was a good man, someone who could make up for the love of our deceased father. But I soon realized that something was wrong. Jonathan's smile didn't reach his eyes. His sweet words had a hint of artificiality. And when Mom wasn't around, the way he looked at us changed. It became cold and distant. But that was just the beginning. The real turning point occurred when my mother had to go away on a business trip for a month. She is an engineer, and her work sometimes required her to be away from home. Before leaving, she told Jonathan to take good care of the two of us. She had no idea that she was leaving us with a monster in human skin. The first night Mom was gone, Jonathan completely changed. He drank a lot of beer. The smell of alcohol permeated the house. Bruce and I were watching TV in the living room when he staggered out. His face flushed, his eyes bloodshot. "What are you looking at?" he growled, pointing at me. Before I could answer, a rough hand struck my face. The slap was so hard that I fell to the floor, my head hitting the coffee table. Bruce screamed in fear. Jonathan turned to Bruce, grabbed his collar, and lifted him up. "Shut up," he roared. "No one is allowed to cry in this house." He threw Bruce against the wall. My brother fell down, clutching his arm, sobbing uncontrollably. Jonathan's rage flared up like a fire. He kicked Bruce in the stomach and the legs. I tried to get up, ran over to stop him. "Stop it. Don't hit him," I yelled. Jonathan turned to look at me with murderous eyes. "You want to take his beating for him?" He grabbed my hair and slammed my head against the wall. My head was spinning. He dragged me into the kitchen and pushed me to the floor. He kicked me repeatedly in the ribs, in the back. Each kick was as heavy as a hammer blow. I curled up, trying to protect my vital organs, tears streaming down my face. "This is a lesson for your insolence," he cursed as he hit me. "Who do you think you are in this house? I'm the boss." When he stopped, I lay motionless on the cold kitchen floor, panting, my whole body aching. Bruce crawled over, trembling, and touched me. "Jack, are you okay?" I tried to smile reassuringly at my brother, but the split corner of my lip sent a sharp pain through me. I'm okay." Jonathan went into the living room, turned the TV up loudly, and continued drinking. We lay there for a long time, not daring to move, listening to our ragged breaths and the sound of the TV. The following days were a nightmare. Jonathan didn't beat us every day, but fear always hung in the air. Just a small mistake, a slow response, or simply if he felt annoyed, his anger would erupt again. Once, Bruce broke a glass while doing the dishes. It was a small accident. The glass wasn't expensive. But Jonathan stormed into the kitchen, grabbed Bruce, and punched him in the face. Blood flowed from his nose. He dragged Bruce into the bathroom, shoved his head into the toilet bowl, and flushed it. "Let's see if you break things again," he laughed savagely. I stood outside, helplessly watching through the crack in the door, my heart pounding. I wanted to rush in, to scream, to do anything to stop him. But I was afraid of being beaten even more brutally. Afraid he would do something even worse to Bruce. Fear paralyzed me. On the nights Mom was away, we lived in a living hell. Jonathan often got drunk in the evening. When he was drunk, he became a completely different person. A monster. He made us stand at attention for hours, not allowed to move. If we so much as twitched, he would whip our legs and backs with his leather belt. Red welts were imprinted on our tender skin. Once, he made us go without food all day just because I forgot to take out the trash. Our stomachs growled with hunger, and we could only look at each other with desperate eyes. He sat and ate dinner deliciously in front of us, deliberately chewing loudly, laughing gleefully. "Delicious," he said. "Do you want some?" We could only shake our heads. The fear didn't only come from the beatings. It also came from the humiliation, from the venomous words he directed at us. He said we were useless, a burden to Mom. He said we would never measure up to our real father, in a mocking way. Those words, sometimes, hurt even more than the whippings. Bruce, who was a lively boy, gradually became quiet. He spoke less, withdrew into himself. Fear was always visible in his eyes. I knew he was suffering a lot, perhaps even more than me. As his older brother, I felt responsible for protecting him, but I didn't know what to do. On the 25th night since Mom had been gone, Jonathan got drunk again. He made us kneel on the cold floor, our arms raised, not allowed to lower them. We had been kneeling like that for almost 2 hours. Our legs and arms were numb. Tears streamed down our faces from pain and exhaustion. "Does it hurt?" he asked, his voice full of amusement. "If it hurts, then next time you'll know to obey." Suddenly, Bruce collapsed to the floor, his arms no longer able to hold up. Jonathan was furious and lunged to kick Bruce. Without thinking, I just rushed forward and hugged my brother, shielding him. "That's enough. You're an animal," I yelled, all the fear and anger that had been building up finally erupting. Jonathan froze for a second, then his face stretched into a terrifying smile. "Oh, the little puppy dares to bite its owner." He grabbed me and dragged me roughly into the basement. The basement was pitch black and damp. He threw me onto the cold concrete floor. I heard his footsteps going up the stairs, then the basement door slammed shut. I was locked in there, in the dark. Fear enveloped me. I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was afraid of Jonathan, afraid of what he would do when I was alone down here. I tried to get up, groping in the darkness. My hands touched cold, damp things on the walls. The sound of insects crawling all around. I don't know how long I was down there. Maybe a few hours. I only knew it was daylight when Jonathan's footsteps echoed down the stairs. He opened the basement door, and a faint light shone down. His face still held the anger from the night before, but with an added look of tiredness from being drunk. "Get out," he growled. I tremblingly crawled out of the basement. My whole body was sore and stiff. Jonathan looked me up and down, his eyes filled with contempt. "Remember this lesson well," he said. "This was just a mild warning." He left. I sat on the steps, panting. Bruce ran over and hugged me. "Jack, did he do anything to you?" my brother asked anxiously. I hugged Bruce tightly. "It's okay. I'm okay now." After the incident in the basement, I knew I couldn't take it anymore. We had to go. We had to escape from here before Mom came back and everything returned to normal in its darkest sense. I couldn't let Bruce live in fear and be abused any longer. I started thinking about a plan for us to get out of this house safely. I thought about Daniel, my best friend. Daniel was a trustworthy friend. He knew about Jonathan, at least the polite facade he showed everyone. But he didn't know about the real monster. Should I tell him? Would he believe me? Or would he think I was making things up? I decided to take the risk. The fear of Jonathan finding out and beating me even more brutally was greater than the fear of Daniel not believing me. One afternoon, while Jonathan was napping after a night of drinking, I secretly took Mom's phone. I knew her password. I quickly texted Daniel. "Need to meet urgently. Very important. Can't talk on the phone. This afternoon at the park near your house." After sending the message, I deleted it from the sent box and also deleted the most recent call history to leave no trace. That afternoon, I told Jonathan that I was taking Bruce to a friend's house to play. He just grunted in response, his eyes still glued to the TV. Bruce and I sneaked out of the house. We didn't dare take much with us, just some small change I had saved and a few essentials stuffed into our pockets. At the park, Daniel was already waiting. His face showed concern. "What's wrong?" "Jack," Daniel asked as soon as he saw us. noticing our gaunt appearance and the fear in our eyes. I took a deep breath. Daniel, I need your help. I told Daniel everything. About the beatings, the insults, about the monster that Jonathan hid behind his perfect facade. I rolled up my sleeve, showing Daniel the bruises that were still visible on my skin. Bruce did the same, revealing the faint scars on his legs. Daniel listened in disbelief. His face went from confusion to anger, then to pity. I can't believe it, he stammered. He dared to do that to you guys. It's true, Daniel, Bruce said softly. He's really scary. I believe you, Daniel said firmly. I'll help. What we need to do now? I think we need to run away, I said, before Mom gets back. I'm afraid he'll do something even worse if he finds out we told someone. Daniel thought for a moment. Okay, my house is empty. My parents are visiting their hometown for a few days. You guys can stay there temporarily. It's safer. It was a small glimmer of hope in the dark night. Daniel's house was about a 20-minute walk from mine, but it was a safe distance, far from Jonathan's reach. The plan was made hastily. We would go to Daniel's house immediately. There, we would think further, maybe call a relative we trusted or find a way to contact my mother. We left the park, walking quickly towards Daniel's house. Each step carried a sense of apprehension and fear. We glanced around nervously, afraid Jonathan would suddenly appear. Every passing car, every distant figure made us jump. Our lives, our safety, depended on whether we could reach Daniel's house undetected. The 20-minute walk seemed endless. Sweat broke out on our foreheads. Our hearts pounded in our chests. Bruce held my hand tightly, his hand cold and trembling. I squeezed back, trying to give my brother some strength. When we reached Daniel's neighborhood, we breathed a sigh of relief. His house stood before us, like a safe fortress. Daniel opened the back door and quickly let us inside. It's okay, Daniel said softly. You guys are safe now. We collapsed onto the floor, panting. The extreme tension gradually dissipated, giving way to exhaustion and relief. Thank you, Daniel, I said, my voice choked with emotion. It's nothing, Daniel replied. We're friends, remember? At Daniel's house, we finally had time to examine the injuries on our bodies. The bruises, the small cuts, and especially the welts from Jonathan's leather belt. We took pictures of the injuries with Daniel's phone. This was evidence, living proof of his brutality. We also tried to contact my mother, but her phone was out of service in the area where she was working. We knew we couldn't wait any longer. We needed to act immediately. We have to call the police, Bruce said, his voice surprisingly firm. He had endured too much. I nodded. That's right. We can't let him get away with this. And we can't let anyone else suffer what we've been through. Bruce and I looked at each other. In my brother's eyes, I saw the fear was still there, but there was also determination. We had gone through hell together. Now, we would fight together. Daniel agreed to go with us. He said we shouldn't go alone, and he wanted to testify to what we had told him. We left Daniel's house, walking towards the nearest police station. Each step was heavy, not from fatigue, but from the weight of the story we were about to tell, the weight of the wounds on our bodies and in our souls. When we entered the police station, the officers looked at us with surprise. Our clothes were disheveled, our faces bruised, and our eyes filled with fear. A female officer approached us, her voice gentle. What happened, kids? I took a deep breath, holding Bruce's hand tightly. We want to report. I began, my voice trembling. Our stepfather, he beat us very badly. I told him everything. About Jonathan, about the beatings when Mom was away, about the dark basement, about the fear we had lived with. Bruce added details that I had missed, his voice still shaky but resolute. Daniel sat beside us, nodding in confirmation. The police officers listened seriously. They took notes and photographed our injuries. Their faces gradually turned angry and indignant as they heard about Jonathan's brutality. After taking our statements, they took us to the hospital to be examined and treated for our injuries. At the hospital, we were well taken care of. For the first time in weeks, we felt safe. The next day, the police went to my house and arrested Jonathan. When my mother returned from her business trip, she was completely shocked to learn the truth. She cried a lot, both out of pity for us and because of her own blindness. She couldn't believe that the man she trusted could do such terrible things. Jonathan faced serious charges. With our testimony, the evidence from our injuries, and Daniel's witness account, he couldn't deny his guilt. He had to pay for what he had done. Life afterwards wasn't easy. The physical wounds gradually healed, but the scars in our souls remained. Bruce was still afraid of the dark and loud noises. I still often woke up in the middle of the night from nightmares. My mother tried her best to mend things. She took us to see a psychologist and spent more time with us. Her love and care were a precious medicine that helped us gradually recover. Daniel was always there for us. He was a wonderful friend. He didn't judge. He simply listened and was there when we needed him. The story of Jonathan is a scar that will never fully heal in my life, but also taught me many things. It taught me about the danger that can hide behind a glamorous facade, about the importance of trusting my instincts. It taught me about brotherhood, about the strength of unity. And it taught me that even in the darkest circumstances, there are always good people willing to help, rays of hope that illuminate the path. We escaped Jonathan. We didn't let him define our lives. We fought and we won. The victory wasn't just about him going to prison, but about us finding peace again, finding faith in life again. The journey was arduous, but we got through it. And we know that no matter how difficult things get, we will always have each other, two brothers, along with our mother and wonderful friends like Daniel, moving forward together, toward the future no longer haunted by the ghost of a cruel past. That is my story about how my brother and I escaped our cruel stepfather. A story not only about abuse and fear, but also about courage, love, and hope.